reveal everything. Good morning. Jeez almighty. Slow down. Slow down. Just got off the field.
Starting what went into that decision?
Well, I tell you what. Obviously, I'm not going to get into all the whys and therefores and what went into this, what went into that. Made the decision. Have been in conversation, obviously, with both Carson and Nick this entire time, dating all the way back to the spring. And, you know, I made the decision yesterday, and both guys have embraced it, and we're getting focused and ready for Thursday night.
How close is Carson to being ready?
Close. You know, I mean, I'm no doctor, no expert. You know, I'm still leaving it up to the medical team. He's had some great workouts here in the last few days, and you know, we'll see.
How did Carson take the news? I'm sure he's a little disappointed after setting that goal.
Actually, you know what? I would say from the athlete perspective, he's probably disappointed. He's missing a football game, you know. But again, this decision, when I say it's the doctors, it's Carson, it's Nick, it's a collaborative effort. I've been in conversation with these guys for a long time, and this is why sometimes my emotions get kind of stirred up, because a lot of times you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and nor do you need to know. But Carson's in a great spot, man. He's in a great spot right now. He's supportive. He understands. He knows exactly where he's at. He works every single day to get back on the field, and that's all I can ask for.
So is that to say that you delivered the message to Nick and Carson after the reports came out?
After the reports came out?
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean,
is that why
this is the decision was not made at the time. You know, I still wanted to hear from our medical team. I wanted to see exactly where Carson was at, and so again, you know, if I came off a little abrasive, that's part of the reason.
Did that cause a situation with Carson?
No. As far as?
I mean, because I'm sure that he would have preferred to not learn through the media if that's in fact the way that it happened.
Well, nobody wants to hear anything from them. They want to hear it from me, you know, and that's why, again, the reaction, because I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing for both guys. Number one, obviously the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's why my communication with them is very critical, and it's been open, it's been honest, all the way back since the beginning of April.
We know how aggressive he has been about being back by week 1. Has it been a little bit of an internal battle in terms of battling for the organization, battling that competitiveness for him to get back, and how you had to handle him?
You know, yeah, I mean, again, the athlete inside of Carson, as you guys know, been around him, he wanted to be back. I mean, he wants to be back, and I would want to be back, you know? I mean, that's just the nature of the game. He's such a competitor that way. But listen, he also knows that, you know, the longevity of his career, he and I, are, you know, hopefully we're in this thing for the long run, for a long time. I mean, and you know, so these decisions are made based on a lot of that, and yeah, I mean, does he want to be out there? Yeah, he does. But you know what? He's working every single day. The guys see what he's been going through. You know, just like Jason Peters and Sproles and Hicks and all these guys, Maragos, what he's going through, they're seeing the same things in the work ethic, and that's the guy we drafted, you know, a couple seasons ago, and that's who we still see today wanting to be on the field.
Doug, it's a little bit of an unusual situation because he's practicing, however limited, but how do you what's the challenge of keeping him sharp so when he does start playing, you know, he hasn't had this long layoff?
Well, you just gotta, you know, you just have to give him, you know, the reps in practice, maybe with the service team, the look teams. He can obviously go off to the side and grab Ertz or Alshon or, you know, one of those guys and continue to work timing and rhythm. And he's been doing that anyway, you know, through camp. That's been part of his process, part of his rehab. And you know, yeah, there's nothing like having live bullets and live rush and all of that, but he's been getting a lot of good work this week with that in mind.
So how difficult was it for you to tell Carson that he wasn't playing week 1, which was his goal, and he worked so hard to try to reach that goal, and he's not going to reach it? How difficult was that for you to tell him that?
Well, I mean, it's tough, but at the same time, again, it goes back to where he is medically, where he is with the doctors, and again, we all understand that, and it's just where we are right now, and we're focused on this week, and we're getting Nick prepared, and it's too. Listen, I've said this before. I really feel like this is one of the greatest quarterback rooms that I've ever been around in my career, and these guys have handled it extremely well.
What was the explanation from the medical team of how sitting him this week and giving him more time, how that's going to benefit him kind of going forward?
Well, obviously more rest and more time off heals the wounds, heals the surgery. But listen, you got to understand too, Carson's been out there. He's been in 11-on-11 drills in training camp and this week. So, we're just waiting and just getting the clearance.
At the start of training camp, when you made the decision to have him be in team drills, did you think at that point that he would be ready for week 1?
Oh, that's a long time ago, and I wasn't going to speculate then because it's hard to say. It's really hard to say if he would be there. I just know his work ethic, and I know how he goes about his business, and I imagine it was going to be close.
What impressed you most about the way?
What's that?
Once he does get cleared, do you go, right in with him, or do you have to see some things first?
Yeah, and I'm not going to get into that right now, but I've seen obviously what I've seen in practice and how he's worked and prepared, and when we get to that moment in time, we'll make another decision possibly. But as of right now, we're going with Nick, and we're focused on that. And I'm excited for Nick. Obviously, it's a great opportunity to start this season, and I'm looking forward to the game.
What impressed you most about the way Carson attacked his rehab?
I think just the drive and the desire to probably potentially be ready for this opening, this opening day, and be the one on the field. I think that's the driving factor, the motivating factor, and seeing him push through, the rehab all spring and summer, and giving up his summer to stay here to rehab and throw and do all the things that you ask, guys to do that they really don't want to do. But in his case, it was all to try to be ready for this first game.
So just to clarify, was this decision made as a medical decision because he's not cleared, or was this organizational decision about the
Still a
long-term
medical
health?
issue. We still have, has he been cleared yet? Have you heard anything?
That's what I don't want to put words in your mouth, so to speak.
Oh, see, you guys are learning. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So that's exactly why I'm asking.
As of right now, me standing here, he is not. He is
So
not.
that's why he's not starting, because he's not cleared.
That's correct.
From talked about some of the emotion of this day to day. How difficult do you think this would have been if you had two quarterbacks that didn't have the personality of Nick and Carson to kind of handle? This is a rare situation.
That I don't have to deal with that. I mean, these guys are they're so positive and they're so energetic, and that they really do kind of feed and support each other. That if this were reversed, it would be no different. Nick would be very supportive of Carson, and that's just the room that we have and the dynamic we have. And it's a credit to both of those guys in situations like this. It just draws them closer together, draws the team closer together, to be able to work through some of this, a little bit of this adversity, and how we come out the backside makes us stronger down the road.
To have a surgery for sports hernia this offseason, is that what's holding it back?
No. Well, no, it's not what's holding it back.
But he did have the surgery.
Yeah, he had that back whenever that was. When was that? That was end of season. He had that, but that's not the reason he's been out.
What's going on with him right now? He seemed like he was pretty confident he'd play, but then didn't practice yesterday.
Yeah, he's just this week. He's just a little bit of a minor setback, and so we're just made the decision to keep him out of this football game, and then we'll evaluate it. After we get a little bit of time after this game.
Is that why you guys brought back Marcus Wheaton? Because, with Mac and I guess
Yeah, we
Alshon.
just needed depth, Yeah, Alshon, obviously. But, we needed to, have some depth at the receiver position. So Marcus he's been here all off-season. Training camp makes a good fit for us.
Do you have any sense of when you'll have Alshon with you?
He's Right now, I'm optimistic, but it's week to week, so we'll evaluate. Again, it's one of those situations where we get through this game, we've got another 4 or 5 days before we hit the practice field again, and we'll make another, determination next week. But he's another one that's getting close.
From the time that Carson participated in the 11-on-11s and then you pulled him back until now, has there been any kind of minor setback, or is everything on the path you've expected?
No minor setbacks at all. No major setbacks. No minor, no major. No setbacks. And he's definitely on the right track, right path. He's worked extremely hard, and that's encouraging for us.
Does Nick's preseason, what gives you the confidence that Nick and the first teamers perform better than they did in the couple of preseason games that they played?
Well, one is the fact that they've had a chance to work together. We had a couple days last week in preparation for the Jets. We spent a couple days last week, and then of course all this week. And we really can dive into more of the playbook, obviously, and things that he's comfortable with, and the offense is comfortable with, and just get more rep at it this week. The timing, the accuracy, decision making. So. Obviously, you won't know until Thursday night, but it's been a good week.
To kind of move past the Super Bowl last year, and then you're going to have the banner unveiled before the game. Do you weigh, the emotions of your team watching that versus, everyone trying to focus on this year?
Quite honestly, it's going to be a great night, from that standpoint. The fans that are in attendance are going to be they're going to be crazy. They're going to be excited. It's going to be great, for the banner to be dropped, in Lincoln Financial. I mean, it's going to be a great atmosphere. I think with this football team, though, they understand this is a different season. It's a new team, new year. We're sitting here 0-0 with a great opportunity against a great opponent, a playoff Super Bowl caliber team coming in here, and quite honestly, that's their focus. They have moved on. It seems like these events sort of keep popping up, and for us to sort of reflect, and which are great. I love them because we're all part of it. But there's still a bunch of guys on this roster that didn't go through that. And so I think the team mentally is in a really good spot, focused on, obviously, the game, focused on the opponent. And this is going to be great for our fans, for the Philadelphia Eagle organization, obviously. But at the end of the day, there's going to be a football game at the end of it, and we've got to make sure we're ready, and that's my job. All right, thank you.